Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are into the 11th lecture, and today we are going to discuss the significance of research in social sciences. It's not to say that the research is less important in science. Research is as important in science as in social science. And the when we discussed the various types of researches in the previous lectures, we had found that each and every type of research is very necessary. Action research is also necessary. Basic fundamental or pure research is also very necessary. All the kinds of researches we have discussed is very necessary, and it depends upon the requirement of the country, of the nation, of the society, that the priority would be given. Anyway, we find that all the developments that has come out, whether it is in medical science or say in transportation or say in the various kind of mechanical, electrical and electronic devices that have come out, these are all for the utilization by the human beings for the betterment of their standard of livings. However, it should be again and again emphasized that the as far as the scientific researches are concerned, they are also very important. But simultaneously, the society has to be taken care of, and social issues are also of utmost importance for the development of a country. And this is why we have given the title of the today's lecture as Significance of Research in Social Sciences. Because we may develop economically, we may develop technologically, and in many ways, but if our family system, our society is not strong, gets fragmented, then we would be unable to utilize all the benefits of development. For example, suppose we are developing, but there is issue of drug addiction. Drug addiction is a menace, is an attack on our society, and many young people who would have become great lawyers, great scientists, great administrators, big doctors, their life is spoiled through this drug menace. So, if we or if a nation or if a country does not pay attention to the issues which prevails in the society, then we will be keeping a blind eye over these developments, and there would be a time when there would be no return, and then all our development will be spoiled because our generation has become unhealthy and has become drug addict. So there are not only this, but there are many social issues which cannot be kept under carpet. We have to have cohesion in our society. We have to have love in our society. We have to have responsibility in our society. We have to be responsible to our family, to our elders, to our village or town, and to the country, and to all of the citizens of this country. So the scientific research has to be followed simultaneously with the pressing issues of the society. I gave one example of the drug addiction. There are hundreds of examples which, if not given attention, then it would have a destabilizing effect on the society and whole of the nation. This is why we have to give equal importance to the social science research, because it is the social science which understands the behavior of the human beings, behavior of the various sections of the people, groups of the people, and behavior of the society overall. And if we are we are able to understand that, then we can in fact make our policy, transform our policy in such a way that our society becomes resilient, our society becomes strong, and this is reflected in the national development, in the development of the country. This is why there has been emphasis on the social science research. The social science research inculcates scientific and inductive thinking, and it promotes development of logical thinking. From the very beginning, we have to be logical. From the very beginning, we have to inculcate scientific culture into our life, into our society, because the logic or the logical treatment or the systematic treatment or the scientific treatment of issues are very important. We have many times suffered because we did not have logical application to the issues. We did not have systematic and scientific application to the issues of society. So, this is why we have to develop a kind of culture of logical analysis, a culture of systematic analysis, and a culture of scientific analysis. The role of the social science research in several fields of applied economics, whether related to business or to the economy as a whole, has greatly increased in modern times. For example, we have now, there was a time when we were young, the foreign investment was despised. It was not welcome. But now FDI is not only welcome, but we are giving them all the facilities. So the times have changed. Not only time, but the whole regime of foreign investment has changed. So we have to have some kind of research how to attract this FDI to to our economy. Why it is lacking? What should be the steps that have to be taken? Has to be researched upon. Again, research is required to formulate the economic policies, and it has gained a lot of importance both for governance and business. Now, we have researches on the governance, we have researches on the business, because research is also a kind of auditing, a kind of assessment. So, if research is done for these, then only there could be improvement over the business and the governance. Research provides the basis for, in fact, most of the government policies in our system, both economic and otherwise. Take the example of MDM, that is midday meal scheme. It was introduced and then made universalized for all the country, for all over the country, and its benefits have been observed. There are many researches on this MDM policy. Take the example of Manrega, the Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme, which guarantees a certain period of employment, necessary employment to the rural labor. There are many researches which have been done on this program, and based on those program, there have been many reforms in those programs. So the research has contributed to the implementation of various government schemes, be they economic, be they otherwise, of other sectors of life, but they are of utmost important. It has a special significance in solving operational problems. It's also equally important for social scientists to study the social relationships in seeking answers to various social problems. For example, I was talking about divorce. Earlier, maybe 50 years ago or more, if you go back, there would be hardly any instance of the divorce. Today, we have now there are more, both male and female are more educated, they have more income, but despite that, these things are happening. The society has, the researcher has to look into it, why it is happening. Also, there are in industries, there are relations between the manager and the workers. Many times it is very cordial, many times it is uncordial. We have to look into it, because a cordial atmosphere increases the productivity, whereas a an atmosphere which is not cordial, it restricts the productivity. So we have to look into that, look into various kind of relations, social relations. Research has been done to its kind of formal training also, which enables the researcher to understand new developments in any field in a better way. For example, we take the issue of United Nations. United Nations is a body, apex body for all the nations of the world. Most of the countries of the world are members to it. Has it fulfilled its function? Has it performed its objective for which it was formed? It has United Nations Security Council. Why there are only 5 permanent members? Why not others like India? Why they have veto power? And if do they have, how it has been utilized? These are all issues which a researcher has to look into. Further, WTO, World Trade Organization, it came up in 1995 as a precursor to the GATT, the General Agreement on Trade and Tariffs. It matured into World Trade Organization into 1995, and it encompasses all the trade, investment, intellectual right properties issues. It is a kind of legal body. We have to look into it. That if it has been functioning for the objectives it was met, whether it was beneficial for the developing countries or the developed countries extended their domination, like they have been dominating the International Monetary Fund and World Bank, that we have to study. There is issue of the International Monetary Fund. This was, in fact, came up as a Bretton Woods system. The World Bank, that was also established as the Bretton Woods system. How they have fared? have they fulfilled their objectives, and if they have, whether their conditionalities and other aspects, whether they have benefited the all of the members, or again it has been hijacked and controlled by some of the developing countries for their own domination and for implementation of their own interests. That has to be researched upon by the social scientists. Again, the bilateral economic and political relations. We have now the bilateral relations, both economic and political, are very important. And more is the economic relations. We have to depend for our energy imports. So, we have to see that the energy supplies are secure, not only availability wise, but cost wise also. The routes through which the supplies come, they are secure, they are delivered on time, and also the price does not become very exorbitant, so that it has a negative and devastating impact on the economy. That happened in 70s and 80s. So this has to be researched upon. There are border disputes between the countries, and these border disputes have to be researched upon so that this can be solved. For example, there was a dispute between Qatar and Bahrain over an oil field which is between those two countries in an offshore oil field, oil and gas field, and the dispute went up to the International Court of Justice. However, somehow these countries were able to make some understanding and exploit these resources for the benefit of both the countries. So we have to understand that. We have recently the Russian Ukraine war. It has a lot of impact on the world food prices, world fertilizer prices. This has to be researched upon, and also how this conflict can be resolved. Peace and conflict resolution has become an important subject of study, and many universities are providing courses upon that, so that the conflict can be understood and it can be turned into some kind of peaceful coexistence. Similarly, the economic regimes, we observed that before 90s we had a completely different economic regime. However, since 91 a U-turn was taken, and a new economic regime came into being implemented in our own country. Reforms, liberalization, which is called the LPG, liberalization, privatization, and globalization. That was taken up, and we are observing the benefits of that, because with the changing times we have to change all kind of policies if it is so required. So how do we get this? How do we find this? It is through the research in these issues. Poverty is a very important issue in the developing countries. It cannot be left just like that. How to alleviate and eliminate the poverty? So we have the economists working on the poverty and even getting Nobel Prize. So it has to be researched upon how to alleviate the poverty. Poverty is a curse on in any country, in any society. So how to remove them out of the poverty and bring them above the poverty line, that is an important issue of research for the social scientist. Further, we observed that in the last decade a phenomenon that is called Arab Spring, beginning from Tunisia and expanding to many countries. This phenomenon removed many long established regimes. We have to study that. There are many dozens of questions related to those. We have to search for those answers so that it is beneficial for the society in the long run. We have the recent Arab-Israeli problem and the Palestinian problem. It has to be researched upon so that all the parties get a respectable solution to this problem, and the problem has to solve in such a way that all of them get a respectable solution. That has to come out of the social science research. Researchers have to do this. We have the issue of the international resources, sea resources, ocean resources. These resources in Antarctica, the countries and the nations have to go for a cooperative, combined and mutually accepted solutions to it, so that these resources are exploited for the benefit of all the mankind. Not that there is conflict over the resources, because as we know that there are conflicts all over the world over the exploitation of various kind of resources, water. It has become, and it will be going to become very soon, a flashpoint for the conflict among the countries. Especially, they originate from some other countries, pass through some other countries, and then there is always conflict of interest. So, how this conflict is managed, that is very important. Not only international, but even in our country we had some dispute over the Kaveri water. So, both within the country and outside the country, all over the world, water is going to be a flashpoint. The researchers in social sciences have to have some answers to it, which would come certainly out of their research. The, the issues, these issues have to be given urgent attention, and this is why I we should ponder over that social science research is as equally important as the science research, because if we do not pay attention, proper attention to the social science research, then we cannot reap the benefits of the scientific research. So, to reap the optimum benefits of scientific research, social science research is of urgent importance. Otherwise, we may develop through data, our production may develop, and our country or society may develop, but the issues of distribution, issues of poverty, issues of equality, issues of equal opportunity, they will remain established in the society, and these issues are going to create hurdles in the proper benefits of the scientific research. And this is why both scientific research and social science research are of equal importance and should be should be given equal priority, so that the benefits of science research are shared optimally by the society, and there is maximum use of or maximum utilization of the benefits of the scientific research, and this is why social science research is of utmost importance. Thank you very much. We stop here.